We're back to the happy place. Sorry, I haven't had a video for a little while. I've had absolute camera troubles with wind, learning the new GoPro, working out how the microphone works. So it's a little bit different. You might see I've cut the grass a little bit. And we've now got 2 hives added over there. This one was actually a swarm. I don't think it was one of mine. It landed in this tree here. So I put the hive down there and they fell into it. Now they're happily over here. You really shouldn't keep untested hives in your main apiary because I haven't been able to check that they're healthy. I don't know if they've got any disease, but it was something I had to do that day. I couldn't make a decision. I had no boxes and I literally had to put them in an old hive. This one is dead. This one is weak. Definitely weak. So hopefully it's getting a boost from the oilseed rape. Look what's happened here. The hives are supposed to be level, but they're actually falling into each other. So I think what has happened is over the winter, the ground has moved, and the hives are collapsing. I've not seen that before. But if you can imagine, by the time it gets 3 or 4 more supers on top, they're going to be touching each other. I need to figure out what's going on there, and quick. Can you imagine? This one was the nuke that I transferred into a hive right at the beginning of the season. And they are going crazy. So I've already got 3 supers on this one. Can't believe it. They're already going like mad. And this one, it was a bit slow, I'll be honest. And yeah, it's still looking a little bit slow. This one was the transferred nuke from the allotment. And I can see pollen going in. That's a good sign. Yeah, so pollen going in is a good sign. So let's get the smoker lit and let's get started. So we're going to take a look at this one first. It's the weakest. So I gave it some syrup last week and they haven't touched it. In fact, not only have they not touched it, I don't actually see many bees in there. So let's just give you a bit of extra height. And we'll do a little inspection inside. So I don't even see them up in the feeder. So I need to move this really gently over. It's quite full. Yeah, there's not many bees in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames. Let's take a peek inside. Yeah, it's light, super light. So if you look, there's not many bees at all in here. I'd suggest this is a failing queen. They're a little bit defensive. They're flying around my face a little bit, which is a sign that they've got a failing queen. There might only be one thing to do with this hive, and that's to unite it. But you can see there are bees at the top. So they typically go to the top and work down. That's what I find anyway. Oh, smoker's a bit smoky today. If you put a smoker on its side, it will actually produce less smoke. Now what I can see, interestingly enough, is quite a few drones. So is it possible we've got a drone laying queen? Obviously drones don't do anything except eat. So I've just cracked the top. So it's just cracked. It might have been the first time I've opened this roof all season. So when you crack the roof a little bit, they can get a little bit defensive because you've just popped open their front door effectively. So just give it a second. Just give it a small second, just 10 seconds before lifting the roof. If I'd lifted the roof straight away, you might find that they jump up because they're curious. There's my first wax moth larvae. So they're dead. That's not a good sign, by the way. If you see wax moth larvae, it means the hive isn't defending. There's another one. Just cut them in half. There's quite a few drones. Put that here. So this season, I want to get rid of all of these black frames. All of them. In fact, I'll try to move the black frames to the outside edge, and as soon as they're at the outside edge and there's no more use for them, I'll remove them completely. I'm going to use, going forward, these red frames, which are plastic, recyclable, and you simply disconnect them in two halves and put a fresh piece inside. Or I'm going to go to wood. I think my experiment is finished. What is that? That's a queen wasp. That is a huge wasp. So I think my experiment is now over. It's red frames or wood. And I'm almost going back to wood. I think the bees tend to prefer wood. So One other thing about using experimenting the way I did, is that each of these frames are slightly different widths. The black ones are much thinner than the red ones. The red ones are about as wide as the wooden ones. So in a hive where you've got a few of these wooden ones, there's actually a gap usually on one side, and that leads to them building an extra wide comb, or actually building comb on the sidewall, which they've done on a hive just behind me. And that is a problem because it means I can't inspect that comb. I can't tell if there is a queen cell on that comb, and it becomes really messy trying to get it out. So let's see what we find in here. It's really light. I don't know why they haven't taken that syrup. So they've started to pour. Yeah, it's just empty frames. A little bit of stores. Okay. As I said, it looks like we've got a drone laying queen. So if you can see, all of this is drone comb. Yeah, all of that is drone comb. You can see they've produced a queen cell there, but I can't imagine that's viable. So the only thing that can be done here is to unite. There's simply not enough bees to produce a queen cell. They will be dead by the time that happens. But there are a significant number of bees here. They may actually benefit another hive. So what can be done is you unite this hive with another smaller hive simply straight on the top. The other queen will kill this queen, and then these bees will become part of the family. I've done that before. If you have a piece of newspaper, you can put the newspaper on top and then put the other brood box on top of the newspaper. And by the time they've eaten through the newspaper, they smell like the hive that's underneath, and they should be accepted. Then once the hives are friendly, you can take this top hive off, then introduce a new queen cell or queen, because there hopefully will be lots of new eggs in this brood box ready to start the next hive. I've done that before and it works well. But it's important not to lose these bees, because if there's no queen, these bees here will simply die. And those bees you see here can form part of a new nuke. Yeah, just drones. So just drones and bees. No eggs. No eggs at all. It's a shame. I'm not going to go any further than that. This one isn't going to benefit at all from a full inspection. And what I'm going to do is put the roof back on. What's happening here? Okay. Have to put it back on the way it was. Like that. All right. So lots of bees. Not enough to hold up a hive like that. I could put them in a nuke, but without more bees, they will not survive. I've tried that before. I do have the swarm that I collected. Have no idea if there's a viable queen in there. I might inspect that one last, so not to contaminate the hive tool. And then if it appears okay, I'll pop this one on the top of that one. All right, let's go to the next hive. So this is the next hive for inspection. This one, in fact, is also quite small. I gave them sugar syrup last week, and they haven't touched it. So my default is, as soon as the weather is warm enough, 10, 11, 12 degrees, I always put 2 supers on without inspecting. So the very first thing I do is I put 2 supers on, because this weather in the UK is very interesting. It's never the same every year. It can be cold, wet, windy, and then suddenly really warm. And those are the kind of changes in weather that can catch a beekeeper out, and suddenly you come next time and they've swarmed because you haven't been able to do the inspection. So to give me time, I put 2 supers on straight away. Then when I go the next inspection, if they're not in the super, I'll take one of them away. If they're in the super, cleaning the super out, because I always store them wet. Maybe they are there's enough bees up in the super that I can do a good inspection to look for queen cells. Because now, as we come in April, May, this is when swarming season begins. So right now is the time where if there's queen cells for swarming, it's now. So I can see there's no bees in the top box. And there's very few bees in the bottom box. So it looks like they haven't been able to make it so far. And they are a bit defensive. I did go round and smoke them a little bit. I can see there's very few bees here as well. Maybe this queen has died or is drone laying. It's really heavy. So, more bees down here. For some reason they're going after the GoPro. So there are more bees down here than in the other hive. Gosh, tell me what you see. So there's quite a few bees up here. Stores, 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 stores. So it looks like they're growing inside this area here. When they're defensive like this, flying up in your face, it can often be because they're stressed. Could be that the queen isn't laying very well and they're worried about perishing. It could also be that they are hungry. I can tell they're not hungry. So plenty of stores. I'm not going to inspect every frame. When I can see it's just stores, I'm just going to skip it. This one's super heavy. And what you can do, if you're new to beekeeping, when you lift lots of comb, this actually is really heavy. So you just put it on one side and you can turn. This looks like brood, but that is crystallized honey from last year. From time to time, you need to remove this brace comb. This comb that they use to connect is actually really quite annoying for the beekeeper because it catches the capped honey as you pull it up, and that just upsets them. So I always look over the frame as I'm lifting. Okay, so again, it's just bees at the minute. Looking down in the cells to look for eggs. Not seeing any yet. So if you're new to beekeeping, you look for the queen, eggs, brood, queen cell, in that order. So my old mentor, he said, look around the outside first, and then look towards the inside. And then you won't miss the queen as she runs from one side to the other. Again, leaning the hive like that on a frame. Okay, I can see a queen cell right there. It's in the middle of the frame and it looks damaged. So it may be supersedure. Okay. So the next frame, I need to see something. Actually, can you see? Just there. That looks like a supersedure cell. Okay. Hopefully you can see better. The bees are going after the GoPro. All right, that's better. Okay, so again, going in nice and gentle. If there's going to be a queen or eggs, it's going to be in this one. They do tend to like the middle. See, I'm looking over the top, making sure I don't touch anything on the way out. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing queen cells. Seeing one right here, one right there. And I am seeing eggs, unless my eyes are deceiving me. Yeah, there are eggs. But maybe this queen isn't doing very good, and the bees maybe aren't feeding the queen, so they're looking to replace her. It helps if the sun is behind you. Now you see, there's the queen right there, blue dot. It's a shame. She doesn't seem to be well liked, so maybe they want to replace her. Actually, I think she just fell down there. Oh, no, she didn't. There she is. Okay, so supersedure. So I'm not going to do anything more to that. So this hive now needs to go into the record books. But there are eggs. So the way to solve this hive is to take the supers off, because they're not going to do anything with it. And I'm going to unite this one with the other one. All right. Don't exactly have any newspaper. but this will do. Okay. So just to recap, what I've done is I've taken the other failing hive, I've placed it here. These bees, they'll have a bit of a punch up, but there are plenty of bees in here to survive the next generation. Hopefully, with more bees, that queen will start going again. If she doesn't, she'll be superseded. But the most important thing is, with more bees, they'll have a better chance of survival. So all that's left to do now is to give it some feed. A collar. And then put the roof on, which I'll do a little bit later. I need to somehow fix what's happening with the with this. Look, I think. Do you know what? I'm just deciding. Perhaps the layout of these, perhaps the layout of the hive stands, it can't handle for. You see how the ground is sort of moving. Probably with all that wet winter we had, it sunk a little bit. Now it's hardening up again. It's contracting. So perhaps that's something I need to address. All right, let's keep going. If you're a GoProer, how do you stop the bees attacking the GoPro? Holy moly, they are going at it like mad. So, we had some excitement. You can now see 2 nukes there right now. One of these hives had about 10 queen cells. No queen. Filled to the brim. Oh, they had 3 full supers. So I'm not sure what's happened. The bees are there. The queen is not. Did she just die? I don't know. So I'm going to have to come back in a week. I did see a virgin queen piping. So that was the queen I left. I took the queen cells from there and I placed it into there. And that hive was also queenless. Couldn't see eggs, couldn't see a queen, so I put some of the queen cells from here into that one as well. So we're going to leave it a week and see what they do. Lots of honey, lots of stores, no eggs. So we shall see what's happening with these hives. These are very, very strong hives. I'm assuming the queen just died. I don't know why. And this one, I saw the queen, I tried to mark her, and I couldn't. I will show you how I marked the queen. I use my fingers just to gently pinch and then put a small dot on the back. But she's really long and golden in colour, so I'm assuming that's an Italian queen. Very, very plump, very, very long and big. So very happy with that. I can't believe the farmer has given me such an opportunity. You see, I had this field here of rape, and if you look over in that corner, there's another field, and there's another field there. And if you notice, just in the distance, there is another field just now starting to bloom. So I think there's probably 3 or 4 more weeks of this. And not only is the oilseed rape flowing really nicely now, since we've had some rain, the bees are actually now on the dandelion. And our customers love the dandelion. But this rape must be now 5 feet, 4.5 to 5 feet tall. Some of it still hasn't bloomed yet, so there's still time. The oilseed rape is known as canola oil in America. And it sets really hard if you don't take the honey off quick enough. You see, some of the blooms haven't yet flowered. So there's probably several weeks left of this. And hopefully more weeks left of the dandelion. What a beautiful day.